Welcome everybody. My name is Don Giannetti and I do lighting essentials at lighting-essentials.com, and I also do the Project 52 Pro System.com, which is a very unique class for teaching people of all levels how to get into commercial photography. We don't do weddings and portraits and babies, etc. We are really commercially focused, and it's a pretty unique approach. Check it out over at project52prosystem.com. All right, what we're doing today is we're discussing building a portfolio, and we have a volunteer who has sent us some images. Carla McMahon is a photographer in South Africa. Carla, what town is that? You want to tell us?
I'm in Robertson, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours out of Cape Town.
Okay, north of Cape Town or?
Like east, northeast kind of. It's inland.
Inland, okay.
It's a small little wine valley, wining community. Yeah, lots of wine farms.
Very good. And Carla is an accomplished photographer, and you'll see that when we look at her work. So Carla has, for better or worse, decided that we'll use her photographs to do a demonstration on how we kind of choose images and what we do with them to create an analog book, a print book. And I'm a big believer in print books for 2, possibly 3 reasons. But the first reason, the more personal reason, is when you get a print book and you have it in your hands, there's a feeling that happens that's really amazing. It just changes up everything. You feel like $1,000,000. You got a real book. That's number one. That's a very personal thing, but it adds to your own self-esteem. The second reason is that some clients still like to see books. And those clients who want to see books, you better have one, because you don't want to be trying to make one at the last minute. Just never going to work out that way. Just isn't. So having a good, solid print portfolio is something that you can do to increase your odds of getting a job. It also helps you synthesize down all those hundreds and hundreds of images that people seem to put on their website. You can't do that in a book. My suggestion is 30 to 40 images in a portfolio. So Carla has 3 specialties she wants to put in her portfolio, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a general portfolio of her work, and we're going to be asking some questions so we can get it right. But we'll do a general thing, and so we're going to have 30 to 40 images, so we got to really cut down the amount of images that she sent. And she sent me a lot of images because I requested that. So these are images that all of them could go in a portfolio. So, Carla, tell us a little bit about your experience. How long have you been shooting?
I've been shooting for a long time, but only really for money in the last 6 months, I'd say. Well, I've been doing real estate photography for quite a while, on and off. I've just got 1 or 2 clients that use me. But the rest of the photography I've always done for fun because I enjoyed it. And now in the last 6 months or so, I mean, I've done P52 with you. I think I started in 2014. And I was never looking to do it commercially, but now I am.
Yeah, and you've got some good jobs too.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I need more of those.
And it's really easy. It's really interesting to me. No matter what I do in Project 52, I come up with new assignments, and and these assignments ripped from the headlines, folks. These are assignments that are based on real assignments that are being done. We don't do like, shoot a piece of string or let's do converging lines or all that. We really do assignment work. No matter what I do, and I've done well over 170 different assignments. The assignments that Carla has got is nothing like any of the ones that she's done in Project 52. They're always like something different, you know? So, and we'll use a few of those in there, in this as well. First of all, we're going to take a real quick look at what you sent. So let me put this up and share it. So we're sharing your food portfolio here. And this is what you sent me. So there's quite a lot of food shots through here. One thing that I noticed about your selection, Carla, was that you also had some kind of product. This is, to me, that's more product than, and so is this, than food. This probably either way. But you have this wonderful, like very graphic style, like this and like this. You have these great graphic approach to the work, but you also have movement. You also have movement. And I think I was really I thought, you know, this is kind of a general portfolio, but the main overriding reason that we want to do a print portfolio is to impress people into coming to see our website. Impress people enough to ask for us to give them a quote. So when I looked at your work, I thought, wait a minute, let's focus on the movement. Like this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. You see what I'm saying? We've got to be careful because I'm looking through here and I'm going, yeah, but I really want to use that one. Really, really think that's a really powerful image. So I started going back through it thinking, okay, well, if I use that as a spread, and I used that as a spread, okay, so maybe that we could go with spreads being a little different than the good spread. So using the spreads as a calming influence for all the motion, because we've got so much wonderful stuff moving up here, beer pouring, wine glasses, so many things. So that's what I did. And I pulled out this group. Let me share this group now. So we've got some stills that I think would make nice spreads. Also, I think just they're great stills and I want to use them somehow. But we also kind of brought in a lot of the motion, the little sprinkles, etc. Same with the cone, your exploding salad, exploding burgers in here somewhere, I believe. Yes, right here. To really pop that fact that you're doing something a little bit different. Do you currently have an analog portfolio?
No.
Okay.
But I just bought a voucher to our print, one of our local print, a Black Friday voucher. So now I'm committed to getting it printed.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. So now we went over and looked at the interior, exterior things. We got a lot of stuff in here. So I spent a lot of time in here because I want to make sure that it doesn't look like a real estate shooter, and that it does have more of a high-end interior design architectural look. So I decided to look through here for the most designy type shots. And I ended up with this one because of the graphics, this one because of the graphics, this one, this one, this one. I really went through it, and I'll show you what I ended up with as my final count over here. And here we go. This one. Oh no, did I mix in the product with this?
Yeah, I think so.
I did. Oh, hold on. That's just me being sloppy, dragging and dropping. Give me a second. There we go. So you can see by this grouping, I went for some really the most graphic shots. I love this building here. I sometimes wish Zoom had a focus on this one area instead of just the individual windows. But I love this because it's a little bit different. It's really different in approach. And I think that's what we're trying to convey in this portfolio, the different ways that you approach things, and you don't bring us just the same old in all these shots. And I love this one, and I love this one, the color. This is fun. This is a big spread shot. Graphic here. The stainless steel out on the deck with the blue and the orange is really cool. And some of these other shots that while they're interiors, they look like they're very much more high-end interiors. So interior design work for sure. So that's the selection I made from her interiors. And now we're going to go up to product. There we go. And we've got this selection. I'm not really sure this belongs in product, this one up here. Not really sure where that goes, but I put it in because I thought it was unique. Love this shot, love this shot. Great shot, great shot, great shot. This is all good stuff. Now these guys down here, these two guys, I want to put those on the same page. I don't want to make them spreads. I want them to be on the same page. So we'll figure out what to do with that when we start to lay out the book. This one I will put on the right page. This will be on the left page of this thing that we're going to do here. So we're going to start laying it out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my whole screen with you so that you can see both of the things that I'm doing. So hang on for a second. We're going to do desktop. So you're going to see the whole dang desktop. I'm going to put this guy up here. I'm going to put this one away. And now we have to make a decision on what we're going to start with. Are we going to start with food? Are we going to start with interiors? Are we going to start with product? Well, I think that product in your area is where, am I right in thinking this is where you're getting most of your jobs, or is it?
Yeah, at the moment, definitely.
Okay. So now the question is, do we put that up front, or do we put it at the back? There's psychologies of saying either way. Some people would say, no, let's put it up front. Let's tell them right up front what we like to do. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But then we leave them at the end of the show. We leave them with something of the book that you don't is not your highest thing. So, right? How do we do this? Well, let's do something like along these lines. Let's start with food. Let's the interiors in the middle and put product at the end. The last thing you look at is what you remember the most. The first thing you look at is what you remember the second most, and the stuff in the middle is the stuff in the middle, which is okay, because the people who are your clients for the architecture, they're going to zip right by the food and focus on the architecture. It's that much of a specialty. Where food people can range from people who make stoves and ranges all the way over to people who are cooks at spas. That's a huge variety versus a small variety. Products is the biggest variety. People make stuff, they need photographs. So that's what I think we'll start with. We'll do is we're going to start with the food. Let me pull up the food. Put the book over here. And the food. And here's how I lay out a book when I don't have the ability to do what I normally do, folks, which is to print these in Photoshop, print them in the contact sheets. And then I take those little prints and lay them out on a board with tape. And I tape them down. I can move them around and switch them around, because you can't do a portfolio looking at one image and then clicking to another image and then clicking to another image. Your brain forgets. The things that hold them together, your brain forgets. It just doesn't work. So we're going to start with food, and we're going to start with an opening shot, probably a vertical portfolio. Judging from how many verticals you have, I'd probably go with a portrait portfolio. First page is on the right. First printed page is on the right. So what do we want to do? We want to hit them big time right there. We want that one to be the opening shot, the exploding burger. That sets up everything else. The next, when they turn the page, the next two shots can be very critical. I'm going to suggest we take this one and we do it as a spread. All right. And then we've got two more pages side by side. We've got this red one here, like this. What are we going to put next to the red one? What goes with it? Well, I kind of think this one might. So what I do is I put it right up next to it. This tells me, see, I can see this. Single page, spread, 2 pages. Next one I'm going to grab, we've got this, see how simple the backgrounds are? I don't want to go from a real simple background to something like this, because it's too jarring. So I want to bring in a simple background vertical shot here. I think I'm going to go with the champagne cork. Put it right here. And because of the dark colors, I'm going to put this one right here too. So here's our next spread. The chocolate cone goes here, and next to it is, where's the one that was next to it? What? Stack cupcakes. Let's move this guy over. This guy over here. Now I'm going to introduce another spread. So I've got these going, boom, boom, boom. We're not laying this out, by the way, Carla. How you lay it out is going to be up to you, you know, whether you put borders on them or you know, bleed it to the edge or all that stuff. We're just, how's this thing going to flow? And I really want it to flow nicely. So we've got movement, 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 movement. Now we can add a little static. This sandwich is fantastic. I'm going to bring the sandwich in here. Out there, it's really a cool shot. We need another vertical that will go next to it. And it should be maybe a little static like this one. Or should I put a spread in there? We'll put a spread in there. I'm going to put in this real colorful splash shot. So let's look at our colors here. Cover shot, a unique shot. It is unique. There's not a whole lot of, we got a lot of background textures and stuff. That's not really part of Carla's main style here. And then we've got this red leading to this pale, going very, very dark, real kick in the pants here, going dark. Light, dark, very light and open, and now we're light and open down here as well. And looking at our available shots here. I love this. It's static, but I love it. Let's bring this one in. Then this one. No, that doesn't work. I don't like this. This doesn't work for me. Doesn't work. Work. Let's see. Ooh. Possibly the beer. Yeah. The beer works. And then this one here. And I need another vertical one on that side. I want to use this one. No. This one. There we go. That works. Notice how, as we go through here, the cork leads us to the right page. The cone leads us to the page on the right. Spread. The champagne bottles lead us back to the sandwich. The beer leads us back over here. Little tilt in this leads us over here, and these are coming in from the left. So everything is we're trying to create a flow with the eyes that keep us to the center, keep us looking at the images rather than flipping off the page for the images. And so I think we're going to put these two guys together, but now we're going to put a spread in between. So I want to use both of these spreads, both of these. And that one. No, I was going to go with this one. So let's go with this spread here. A second spread of we don't have another lay flat. Let's go with a second spread of lay flat. Then these two guys that look real good together. And then we're going to create these two shots. These two shots are going to go together. Again, we're going to pour in from the right, pouring from the left here, so the spread works. How many do we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, well, if we're going to go with 30 images. We got 30 images total. We got a lot of images there. So we got to pull some images out. We got to get it down to about Got to get it down to about 12 or 13 images. So which do we pull out? I think I'm going to pull out the 2 spreads. So we do have 1, 2 spreads in the book. Let's bring this spread down to the last. Move these guys up. And the reason is this is such a dynamic shot and it's so unusual compared to the rest of them that it's a great place to finish the food, you know, with a big splash, as they say. Okay, you're the photographer. Did I leave out any of your favorite images? Do you feel like this is not a good representation? Because laying out a book is a co-op deal.
No, you didn't leave any out. I wouldn't have. I don't love that the beer so much, but
This
look
one?
there. Yeah, that one, and also the hot chocolate with the next to the ice cream with the sprinkles. I mean,
This one here?
yeah. No. The one below to the right of the beer, next to the.
Oh, this one.
That one, yeah.
Okay.
I don't love those, but.
Okay. Is there
Well,
anything
no, I don't
over
mind.
here
I
you
wouldn't
love?
have chosen.
Anything over here you love?
I like that melting ice cream, that first one, but no, that's old. I'm tired of that picture.
This
anyway.
one?
Yeah.
All right, let's slide this one back over. Let's put that works nice. A little bit of pinkish here, a little bit of that green there. That works. And you weren't crazy about the beer.
No, I don't mind it. I don't know. I maybe I wouldn't have chosen it because I think I know how I shot that. I just shot that hand holding my camera in natural light. There was no setup.
I think it's the weakest one on the page. Okay. Because of that. I mean, the silver isn't silver. It is kind of more of an editorial shot. So what if we move this guy in? If we move this guy in, it doesn't pair with this one well, right? But it would pair with the sandwich very well. And then this would pair very well with the stuff over there, the champagne or whatever that is. Yeah, I think that lays out pretty well. Are you good with that?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So what we do is,
Hey, God,
Don. Somebody help me remember what's a screenshot in Mac? Is it's Command Shift 7? Huh?
It's Command Shift 4.
Command Shift 5.
3 or 4. If you do 3, there's a screenshot. If you do 4, it allows you to select what you want.
There we go. That's what I wanted. Right there. And there we go. We'll have that for you. Well, I've got to put it somewhere, though, don't I? Put it in Photoshop. File. New. I thought it would save whatever was in my clipboard.
I think you've...
I guess it went right to the desktop, right? That's probably what it did.
I think
it went right straight to the desktop. Okay, so we got that part done. So I'm going to wipe all these out. drag them down to the trash because we're going to start the next grouping. I'll put the food away and open up the interiors. And I'm going to slow up just for a little bit to find out if there's any questions. Does anyone out there have a question? Anybody?
Hey, Don, regarding, well, you just wiped it out. Never mind.
What? Wiped out what? What did I wipe out?
The food there, the food layout or whatever.
Yeah. You want me to bring it up?
Yeah. I had a question about one of the, I guess, the thought process here. So the 2 ice cream cones or whatever, the first one there, the pink one, if you're flipping through the book, you have light, light, dark, dark, bright, dark,
Right.
bright, bright.
Right.
What's the thinking behind having this oddball in the middle of all the dark?
Because it breaks the eye. It moves the eye.
Okay.
So it's like if we put the 3 dark together, what'll happen is we'll start to group them in our brain as a set, right?
Okay.
And we don't want that. So we just kind of break it up here. We got this one leaning in. We got this leaning this way. So it's, it's light, dark on light, and then light and dark.
Okay.
So we've already set it up here, and then we just repeat it again.
So
Like a musician.
So we shouldn't be thinking like in a gradient scale and go maybe from dark to light. You want to kind of break it up.
Well, if you're building a portfolio from scratch, Mike, I think that would be an awesome idea. You remember my mentee Judy, right?
Yeah.
She did that thing where she went through the color wheel.
Yeah. Okay.
So she planned that. She started out with the reds, and then it became the oranges, and it became the yellow, and then it became kind of green, and it became blue, and then it became, purple, and back to the red, right? So she went right through the color wheel, but she planned that. When you're doing shots that you haven't planned necessarily to go together, then no.
Okay.
Because
that makes sense.
Yeah, you'll end up down a rabbit hole.
So if you
fast.
want to do a gradient style book, you need to plan the whole book ahead of time.
Yes. Or
Gotcha.
have 10,000 photographs to look, or 5,000 photographs you've done.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir.
You familiar with Frank Ockenfels?
Yeah.
That guy shoots more pictures in a week than most of us shoot in a month.
Wow.
He's always got a camera in his hand. He'll shoot everything from roadsides to celebrities to top models to a dog on the street. Just shoots all the time. All right, very nice. Let's look at building this one here. Thanks for the question. Good question, man. Thank you.
Thank you for answering.
All right, for this, we're going to look at, we got some really interesting shots to bookend this with. These are really nice. This one, where is it? Oh, there it is. I was going to say, wait a minute. I know I chose that. Let's bring these down here. We've got these very striking images that we've got to do something with. This is obviously going to be a spread. This one may be a spread. And then one of these interiors needs to be a spread. I'm going to go with this one only because it just has a lot more stuff going on. So many nice leading lines. This lovely outdoor house, which is going to sort of bookend some of the other buildings here. Like we're either going to start with this house, or we're going to start with this building. I don't know which. And before I decide which, I need to go back here real quick. Last is a spread, so we start with a left-hand page. Okay, so we start with a left-hand page. Or we start with a spread to introduce architecture. I say we start with a spread. Let's jump this guy in right there. little bit different approach than I was thinking, but we have those two things splashing in together. Now we have this orange thing. It's a very similar composition. So it ties the eye, because remember, this is the next page after the splash shot. This shot is, where did you do this one, Carla? This grill outside?
It was in Simonstown, which is a little coastal town in Cape Town.
Okay. And this was, the product is the grill?
No, actually it was the house. It was a guest house, and my family were actually happened to stay there. And when the lady found out I was a photographer, she asked if I would shoot the place as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I did. So that was actually our dinner, and I just added that shot in for her because, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. I like that. I ended up with a couple nice places to stay because I was a photographer, and they found out. So would you take the shots? And yeah, would you take some money off the room?
Yeah, that's exactly what you did.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll start out with this one. I think we're going to go to this one next. The question is, I'll put this one here. These colors work out. Is this the same house?
Yeah, that is, yes.
Okay, so we have the same color ocean back there. That's what I see.
Yeah, it was the same time of day as well. Well, similar.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Floors, the colors, the skies, everything works out very well. I like that. We're going to go to we're going to stay kind of resident. We started off strong here. We're going to kind of stay residential, very soft. These two, yeah, because we can use this one next to one of these big buildings to use contrast, visual contrast. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go with this one and this one.
And that's actually the same house as well.
Oh, okay, good. Got a little bit of uniformity there. Now we've got to start thinking about how we're going to end this thing, and that'll determine on, do we do another, boom, 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 do we do 4, 6 in a row? Let's put our spread here. So we have a spread. We have 4 small shots. We have this big shot, which is, these are all interior shots. I count this as an interior because it's the space rather than standing aside and shooting the building. So that works there. Then we need something. We're going to bookend these two guys here. After that spectacular shot, these guys are going to go together, right? Like this. Then we're going to introduce we're going to close off the residential with that house, and we're going to open the big stuff with this one. So this will be on the left page, this will be on the right page. So residential, which all of this is, big building. The next big building, probably also a spread. And then this one is a spread. Then this one goes on the left. And this one goes on the right. So once again, we've closed off this by having it on the right page. So you have a lot of disparate work here. and it does jump a little bit, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay because you're still building up your architectural portfolio.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this?
I like it. Do you think I need to maybe shoot something else specifically for this?
No, this is your first portfolio. You're just going to grow with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not expecting you to spend it. I don't want you to do like a Mullenberg on this. This is not a $1,700 handcrafted portfolio. This is Blurb is having a 50% off sale, and you're going to grab a lay flat for like $70. Okay.
Yeah, but we don't have Blurb here, and so I have to go with my printers.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. We're gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a hardcover book with some nice thick paper. It's not gonna be a handmade, handcrafted. You know. Judy spent 17 on her big book and 12 on her small book. So you can imagine, you know, there's no limit to what you can spend, but there is a limit to what makes sense for where you are and what you're doing. Command Shift 4. Yes. All righty. Let's make sure it took. There it is. So I can take these and wipe these out. And to food. No, to product, sorry. Here we go. All right. We're going to have to start out big because we left with that colorful Ferris wheels. We turn the page. I think we've got to, which is very far away and very large. So let's pull them back in with the cosmetics. We've gone from that purple giant thing to purple, very tiny, very, very small. This will be a spread. So there's no discussion on what we're moving on to. This is product here. Let's go with these two reminiscent of orange. And you can do this on Mac or Windows using your document folders, moving stuff around. It can be Windows or Mac. It doesn't really matter. They all do it. But it does give you an opportunity to see the pictures across from each other. I'm going to bring in this one, and I'm going to put it, I think with this one, because the colors are similar. And this is over there, this is back in close. This is very close, this is a little bit over there. So we're bouncing the eye from here to here to here to here to here. That's good, keeps it moving, keeps the interest moving. Now we got these guys here. This, I think, has to be on this page. And what I was gonna do is put this one above that one. And then this one to the right side of it. So you got two horizontals on the left side, and the right side is that full shot there.
I have a question for you, Don.
Sure.
On the one with the cameras and then the bottles next to it, we're still doing the portrait from where we started with the food. With those being landscape style images, is it going to be better to just have the white space where it's centered with the white space between the top and the bottom? Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. And then some once we get this done and we count the pages, we can make some, because any horizontal you have like this can go to a spread.
Okay.
Right? This would be a killer spread. We'll see how many pages we have. If it is a killer spread, we'll figure out what to do with this one. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a look at that. This one I am going to make a spread because I think it should be. And then we've got these beautiful, I knew there was some more over there. There we go. Get over here where I can see you. Here's the beds. So the question is that I have is, this was a pretty big job, wasn't it? The furniture.
Yeah, it was.
And you have the possibility of working with more furniture people. Did that open doors to that segment of the population?
Well, the guy that does the marketing for that furniture company does the marketing for sofa company as well. So he got me to shoot their homeware. So that black couch and the lights, that's from a different furniture company.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to make both of these spreads because they're so detailed, you know?
Okay.
Or maybe just side by side. Maybe just side by side. I think maybe side by side works. Yeah, just side by side. Because this one it's a nice big lie flat. But if we look at over here, we got these two that are going to go together beautifully because we've got the warmth in here, over here, the purple, contrasting color. This one and this one's going to go together perfectly, and that one's going to be okay. So now the question is, what do we do with this guy? Because we do want to show it, but I don't think he's going to make a good spread, right? Because if we go across 2 pages, we're going to do some serious cropping up here.
Okay.
I think we're just going to have to. I think we're going to have to go ahead and make it a spread, and your cropping is going to have to be you're going to have to be as careful with your cropping as you possibly can. But my suggestion would be let me ask you this: when you shot it, is there room around this?
There is a bit, but the room it's on a board, and what's on.
Sure.
It's not part of the photo. I cropped it like the floor or something else. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you may have to put this as I just don't know. I don't see. I mean, I'd hate to crop out the inside of the boots.
Yeah.
You're going to have to look at this and figure out how to work that. You might have to just do it as, like, so if you have a page, you have 2 pages, right? Just take over half the left of the full left page and only half of the right page, so nothing gets cropped.
Okay.
And then just let that white space live. That's okay. You're going to already set up there's going to be white space above and below, white space above and below, white space above and below, right? All the way through here. So white space is not a problem. Just have a little bit on the right side.
the two pictures before that, the bed and those were shot for I think the header or something on the website. So I had to make them long and thin. So those are already very long and thin. And on a portrait book, is that not going to be a bit too much space on the top and bottom?
I don't think that that's a problem, but that's something to think about. Really something to think about. Let's go back to product real quick. Oh, sorry. Your product. And there's this one, and this one's what I chose. What do we have for the right side? I don't know. I don't know about that. I like this. But that's taller. That's taller.
Yeah, that one is. It's just those other two that are not.
Yeah. So what do you think about this page?
Yeah, that looks cool.
It does look cool. Here you go. Like that.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we've got these guys over here. We got to figure out which we're going to end with. I think we're going to go with this as a spread. Then the cooler colors here. We're going to go from the desks and everything, pull the eye close again to these, to that, to these. And we're going to close out with the Jack Daniels, which I hadn't even dragged over for some scary reason. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I like that. Do you not think that maybe it should be a square book? Because
Square, that's one reason why a lot of people do square books. The thing about square books is it's really hard to do bleed because you just, that's okay. And that's okay. That's totally fine. You can bleed something like this. You're going to crop a little bit off here, but it's not going to be bad, a square book. But for most cases, you're going to have space above and below. That's okay. That's totally fine. No one is going to shoot a square book or try to pigeonhole this stuff into a square book. You can shoot a square book, obviously, but no one's going to try to pigeonhole this. And so anybody who's showing a square book has space around their images. Just make the book as big as possible, because if this is an 8x8 square book, these pictures are pretty small, right? Go for a 12x12 or a 14x14, or if you're really brave, go for 16x16. And then at least the images are 16 inches tall or 16 inches wide. That's a big, you know, that we get to see the images in.
Okay.
So what if you took these images, like in Photoshop, let's say a landscape image like that, and you want to do a square with it? Have you considered taking it and going into the image size adjustment in Photoshop, leaving the PPI at 300, and just doubling the size of the image, so that, you know, now it's, and work with me here for a second. Let's say your image is 2400 by 3000, or on a landscape it'd be 3000 by 2400, and you at 300 DPI or PPI, and then you went up and changed the image size to 6000 by 4800. It's the same image, nothing's changed, but then you can make the size of the page where you want it to fit the square, and you'll have the least amount of white space when you get done.
No, you're confusing cropping with perspective. So here's a square.
Mm-hmm.
Drag this picture over here. There's a square. So if we come up here and we drag this down to a square, you see how much crop? All of this is gone. So if you're going to do a square, you're going to have some space around it, and you're going to have to figure out what you want. I think a, you know, a quarter inch is too small. I think a half inch might be too big, so or just right, a half inch on both sides. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. Let's see what a half inch looks like right here.
It's difficult to have a spread because it doesn't actually fill both square pages.
Yeah, no image, unless you shot it square or cropped it square, is going to be able to go in this page without serious cropping. So
no, but if you put this as a spread,
as a spread, yeah, I was going to do that. I was going to show you. Yeah, if we do it, I always think that's going to work. It never does. So let me show you what happens. Only because I've tried it. Let's try a new document. Let's go with 12 wide, 6 tall. That's 2 6-inches. That's what we'll do. All right, so let's grab our image again. And we bring it right up here to the corner. Drag it out. That's where it fills the page right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean the image. So we drag it all the way out here.
I see. It's not, yeah.
And that's a problem. So my suggestion still is to, if you do it as a square, is we're going to do this one here. And you can bleed this. I'm just going to show you how you can bleed it. You can bleed this here. And then we can drag this out to get our center mark, which is at the 6-inch, right? Right there. And then we're going to grab this guy. Bada boom.
That actually works well because there's Jack Daniels in that lay flat and Jack Daniels on the right.
Yeah. Yeah. So creating the flow is always a challenge. Creating this is always a challenge. You know, putting them in there. A lot of photographers like to do square books, come up with a simple size in the middle that is their usual format, which is whatever you shoot. Most of us, when we're shooting personal whatever, we shoot to the frame. Commercial photographers, when you're shooting a job, you never shoot to the frame. You always shoot with a lot of room around. You have to. But we shoot to the frame. So you figure out that frame, you find it right, and you just template. And every page has an image on it that's the same area, which is also, you could do that in Bookright, which is the blurb portfolio building stuff. You don't have blurb there. You're going to use InDesign. Probably, right? Is that what you use?
Is InDesign, yeah.
InDesign, yeah.
Well, the place where I get it printed has their own software as well.
Oh, all right. Questions from anyone? Did I get a screenshot of this yet? No, I did not. So I'm going to do that.
I have a question.
Please.
I'm new to this and I really don't understand anything. Where can I go from ground up to learn this whole thing? It's kind of a strange topic.
What do you mean you don't know anything?
I've just started photography, and I'm trying to put my catalog together, reading your emails and watching on your watching you on YouTube. And what kind of software would you be using this trying to create this?
Either InDesign. Are you? Well, let me ask you this: are you on a Mac?
No.
Okay. Mac has a built-in app called Pages, which is very super awesome thing. It's great. InDesign, which some people great, but you have to get the whole Adobe suite to get InDesign. They don't have a designer's package like that for photographer. Not that I know of. If they have that in wherever you guys are from, or if you know that I'm wrong, let me know, because as far as I know, the only thing they break out is photography. So there's InDesign. You got to get the whole package of Adobe for that. Or you can buy Affinity, which is actually cheaper than 1 month of Adobe. Affinity Publisher. It's $50. I think it's on sale now. But it's a layout program where you can put your pictures in. And I'll be doing a demo of that in 1 hour here on how to use InDesign and Affinity to lay out.
Can you do this in Microsoft Word, in Microsoft Suite?
What we're doing here?
Yeah.
Oh no, these are just folders.
Okay.
These are just folders on your desktop. You can do this in Mac or PC, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Because all we're looking for is something to move these things around in. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So this is like, if you're trying to look for a job, this is you make a presentation.
This is how you get the order of it. Then you have to make a presentation. Yeah, she's not finished with this. These are now going to go into a InDesign document, page after page after page, but now she knows the order of them so that they flow better.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
And I think I'm wrong here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And Carla?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep these because I'm going to look at them again tomorrow. Okay? Trust me when I tell you, let 24 hours go between doing this and the next time you look at it, because you're going to come back and you're going to go, It's just important to do. So do it as soon as possible. When you're getting ready to do a portfolio, do it as soon as possible. All right. Any other questions from anyone?
Yeah, I have a question for you though. Now,
Sure.
when she's selecting the images for the portfolio and then also selecting images for doing the mailers, postcards, emails and stuff, how important is it to make, should you make sure that the images that you're sending out in your mailers and email are not in this printed portfolio and keep them separate, or does it matter if they're...
I'll give you two answers, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Answer one, the true answer is it probably doesn't matter. Okay. Answer 2, my answer would be no, you shoot specifically for that mailer. That's my advice when I'm coaching photographers. You shoot specifically for the mailer. Can you put that in your portfolio? Yeah, a year after you sent the mailer out. But up until then, no.
Yep.
I make when I'm working consulting with photographers, I make my photographers shoot 4 shots a week. That's minimum. They have to shoot 4 shots a week. Honestly, honest to God, I don't care how good they are. They just have to shoot 4 shots a week. They must. And if they're already photographers and they have a studio and stuff, it goes up dramatically from there. Because you're competing against people who could do one of these books, literally do one of these books every 2 months. And when we first started out, we're scrambling to find 60 shots for the book. And then, we're up against somebody who did 60 shots last month. Just the nature of the beast. Any other questions?
No question.
Was this helpful?
Yeah, and I wanted to tell Carla, you have some great images. I've seen some of them before through the different classes we've done, but seeing a lot more of them now, you've done some really great work.
Thank you. But I've got a question. Is it not too many now? Because you said 50.
I don't know. Let's find out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's count the images. Not going to count the pages, count the images, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, of course, I'll bring the same one back. Was that 20? 1, 2,
20, yeah.
Okay, so we're only 13 over.
Okay.
I said 30 to 40, right? And we're at 53. I think you're fine. I think you're fine. I'm not looking at any of these. I will look them again tomorrow, but I'm not looking at any of these that I'm thinking, oh, let's take that out. Chances are very good I will tomorrow. And I'll send you new snapshots and we can chat about it, all right?
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe the architecture should come out completely, be a completely different portfolio? Because it's kind of different, very different clients that would, or not?
Yes. Yes. It'll narrow this book down better. Food and product, yes. Architecture, its own book. It's because its own. Remember, I was saying, the people who are into architecture are going to flip right to the middle of your book. That's all they care about. They don't give a damn about product or food. Where product and food both care. Product shooters and food shooters and shoot all this. So many crossovers with wine and beer. And, what's food, what's liquor, what's product, all of that. That's different. Yes. Big time. I would just do it as its own thing.
Okay, I think so too, looking at this.
Yeah. And that leaves us with, I think that we're going to be fine, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There you go. 39 images in your portfolio.
Cool.
But I'm going to go back through it and make sure that, I don't have to go back through it then. We can do it right now. That's our first shot for product. We're going to start with food. And our food is here. So our last shot with food is this spread right here. And our first shot with product is that. Perfect. Couldn't get any better.
Cool.
All right. Let me know what size you think you're going to end up doing, square, whatever works for you. So let me know. And like I say, if I'd make it 14 by 14 or 16 by 16 if you can afford it, if it makes sense financially. And this book will probably do you for about 6 months, and then you're going to be, because I know you're shooting a lot. About 6 months, you'll be moving to a new one. So keep that in mind as well.
Okay.
Which is why you don't want to spend $900 on something.
And must I get, because of the spreads, I must get a book that lays flat in the middle, because those are more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Everything else, the paper's is thin. They're more like a book, that size paper. Where when you get the lay flats, the paper's way thicker and it feels more like a portfolio than the other one. But and there's a big but. But if they can print the other one on something like 100 point or 110 point, 100 pound or 110 pound paper, so it's really nice and solid, 10 points, something like that, then go ahead and go with the paper. It'll be fine.
Okay.
And this is your very first book. Just print it. Whatever you can afford, makes sense, just print it. Don't worry about anything except do not use glossy paper.
Oh, really? Okay, because
no, use a matte or a pearl or something like that, but not glossy. It's too glossy.
Okay.
And then when you hold the picture up, lights they glare all over the page. You use the matte and you get a whole bunch of way better look. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah. If this is going to have a lifespan of 6 months, that means you really have to take it out and show it to people on site.
Oh yeah, Jay, you're absolutely right. I mean, if you don't show this to anybody, it's got a lifespan of about 11 years. Yeah. Just stick it up on the shelf, and no, when I say 6 months, I'm taking for granted. Carla, you're in our mastermind group, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're pushing hard for people to get out every day and show it every day. Just show it. I would rather have you call me and say, "Gee, Don, I got to print a new one because it's all dog-eared," in 3 months. That would be great, because there's nothing I can make more emphatically than it's a numbers game. The more people you show your work to at any level your work is, the more people you show it to, the better your chance of getting a job. And then if you sit around in the studio binge watching Netflix, you're not going to work, because you're competing against people who will go out every day and show their book. I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, it's hard to get in the ad agencies." Yeah, walk your ass right in the door. They're not going to shoot you. You're not there to bug them. You're there to say, "Hey, I'm a photographer. I'd like to work with you. I don't have an appointment. I don't want to butt into anybody. I'm not, I'm not here asking for, whatever, but I'm a photographer. Can I leave this little brochure here for your art directors? Or is there any way I can make an appointment to meet with an art director?" Walk in and do it. Don't tell me it's hard. Just do it. There's a lot of stuff that's hard. Carla, do you like the symphony?
The symphony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. South Africa, Cape Town. No, not Cape Town. What's the other big town?
Johannesburg.
Which one?
Johannesburg. Johannesburg.
Johannesburg is a wonderful, world-class symphony orchestra, right?
Yeah.
You know what's hard? To be hired as the director for these Johannesburg Symphony Orchestra. There's only one. In the whole world, there's one. So don't tell me it's hard to be a photographer. God, try being that guy or gal. That was hard. This is just, what are they getting? walk in. I'd like to show my book to somebody who's you know, can I make an appointment? You don't want to go in and say, I demand an appointment right now. That's counterproductive. But go out and show your book, of course. Of course. Anybody else? Did y'all find this knowledgeable, helpful?
Very much so.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Don,
All right.
Don,
Yes.
one quick question. The fifth photo over at the top on the right, if they're going to be on the same page, would you not crop the bottles on the bottom a bit so that the photos would have the same dimension?
You could. Certainly. You see what she's saying, Carla?
Oh,
You got a
yeah.
little room to play with down here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would certainly do that. There might be a situation where you wouldn't, but I think in most cases, because you know, I don't know if there's any reason to have this down here. It's nice to have it, but it's not going to kill the image if we take it out. Where this shot down here, you saw what happened when we cropped it. It's not cropping.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful combination below.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming down, and
Thank you.
I enjoyed it, and know that in 45 minutes we're going to be laying out a promo piece in InDesign and Affinity. So it will probably run about an hour and 15 minutes because I do want to cover both of those programs. And I'm using different photographs for each one. I've got some portraits from Virginia that are just awesome, shot on film. And I've got the square brochure. Who did that? Oh, sorry. I've got one is my photographs, and the other is Virginia's. I'm very excited about using Virginia. So join me then. The only commercial on the entire thing is I run a course called Project 52 Pro System. It's year long, and you work your butts off, and you do an assignment every week. And every week we have a live critique, and we have the best Facebook group on the internet. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just members only. And I also do private coaching, one-on-one. Athletes have coaches, artists have coaches. I'm a coach. I get you going fast and up to speed. That's it. Sorry, we're leaving our commercial zone and moving back into thank you so much for coming. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. And if you don't live in the States, hope Thursday was awesome.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. See you in a little bit.